Welcome. I'm gonna do Tomb Raider today. We might just do the DLC I have for it. The Croft Manor DLC, I think it was the Blood Ties. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Blood Ties. Important clues can be found, I'm guessing, around the house. I couldn't have already played through this once before, but it's good to go through it again to refresh the memory.
Final notice to Lara Croft, current tenant of premises. This is to serve as your final notice for the purposes of terminating your ownership of Croft Manor. You are required to immediately vacate and surrender possession of said manor to Atlas de Mornay, executor of estates.
Lara, it is unfortunate that you have forced my hand in this matter, but so be it. As you know, your parents appointed me executor of the estate in the event of their absence. Since your mother disappeared, her death was never technically declared. And given the circumstances surrounding your father's death, it's no surprise that he never drafted a formal last will and testament to account for this circumstance. Unfortunately, you have no legal claims to the estate. I'm willing to negotiate a modest monthly stipend from your trust, but only if you leave the manor by week's end. Don't fight me on this, Lara. Your mother wouldn't want that. Sincerely, Atlas.
There has to be a will or some kind of evidence of what happened to Mum in the manor somewhere. Dad's safe. Needs a combination. It's got to be in Dad's papers somewhere. Maybe in the library. My birthday crown. I was so proud of that thing. That's my handwriting. My penmanship was pretty good.
She's definitely confident of herself, which is good. I think we've seen the disgraced newspaper before, I can't remember. In the main game, I'm not sure.
Well, this is a hell of a thing. I met someone tonight quite unexpectedly. But it shouldn't have been, it seems. I've been so buried in my work, so distracted by my latest revelations, I never bothered to notice my surroundings. But there she was, sitting at my table in the library. Her name is Amelia. And apparently she's been studying right next to me. Art history, of all things. I shared some of my research against my better judgment, but I wanted to see how she would respond. And she did not disappoint. I felt as if I was suddenly engaged in a mental game of chess, moving and counter-moving in argument. At one point, that poor old librarian had to shush us as if we were children. I feel so foolish for not having noticed her earlier. She's a brilliant woman who's challenged my ideas for the first time in memory. In truth, I don't know if she's feeling as exhilarated as I am right now, but I dare say our conversation was mutually stimulating. For the first time in a long time, I find myself thinking about something else besides my research. I hope she returns for another round tomorrow.
My
think that
parents
might be
made a
his
good
mother.
team, challenging each other from the start.
Sorry guys, I'm a little distracted here, but better get on my game. See what's in here. And nothing useful.
Dad would have liked me to go to Oxford, but I insisted on UCL. Yep, looks real. Roth once offered to forge me a fake diploma to show Dad.
Look, there we go.
A picture with Dad and Anna. Never liked wearing dresses, but the color was nice.
I wonder why. Actually, I watched the Tomb Raider movie, not the new one,
This is
but the
probably
one,
my grandfather Benjamin.
with Angelina Jolie, and they showed a bit of her not wanting to wear a dress in that movie as well, so it kind of relates back to that movie from the game. There we go.
I finally introduced Richard to the family. It went precisely how I imagined. I see but polite grace from mother, indifference and disinterest from father, and thinly veiled contempt from Atlas. Of course they don't approve. To them, Lord Croft is the man who took away their beloved daughter and ruined her long-standing engagement, though I was never going to marry that repugnant Earl of Farringdon anyway. One might think they would be happy that I was being courted by a genuine lord of the realm. It just happens to be Richard Croft. In their eyes, the man who single-handedly ruined a once great family. But there's nothing to be done now. Watching how Richard dealt with their subtle insults and disrespect. Such grace and calm. I know he did it for me. I think I'm falling in love with this man. It will break my mother's heart, but I cannot live the life she imagined for me. My time with Richard has only made this clearer.
Oh, one thing.
It must have been hard for Mum to go against her family's wishes. I'm glad she did.
One thing I've learned over the years is never really force your kids to do something they don't want, because personally I feel like they're not gonna wanna live a happy life. They're not gonna wanna, like, instances if you like force your kids to go to a college that you want.
Dad's
But
map
they
of the
don't.
forgotten cities of northern Syria.
But they don't. I mean, like, they're probably not going to want to study. They're not going to give a least bit % of studying and stuff like that. So I feel like it's always best just to let them do their own thing.
He was closer than he knew to finding the Prophet's tomb.
At least for the most part.
Dad's book about immortality myths might be useful in my research. One of Dad's Yoruba masks, a gift from a friend he met on an expedition in Nigeria.
Well, it did look creepy. what can you say? In agriculture is the same.
This is the map I made for my first expedition with Dad. It shows a path to the library through the servants' passages. Wait, I can get to the library through the old servants' corridor. Dad's artifacts from the Nile Valley. I always loved looking at these. Dad became interested in immortality myths after his expeditions to Egypt. The door to the library. Locked. There's got to be another way through. Too dark. Going to need a flashlight.
Hi, Dad. I've been thinking about Mum lately. I wish I knew more about her. How did you meet? What was she like? Winston told me that she was a brilliant artist. Are some of her paintings locked up in the West Wing? And I guess I just want to know, did she love me, Dad? Did she ever say that she did? Maybe I'm just being silly, but will you tell me more about her the next time I'm home from school?
Lara, I've reviewed the report from your therapist. I have to say I was surprised to see a clean bill of health. I somehow doubt you've so easily abandoned your irrational claims. Indeed, where have you been the past few weeks? My secretary discovered that you booked a flight to Turkey on the 20th. You can't have been simply sightseeing, as your customs claims suggest. I know you're up to something, and I'll be damned if I let you use the Croft assets to indulge the same obsession that led to my sister's death. It's not too late to relinquish your claims on the manor voluntarily. If you refuse, I will find a way to cut you off. Sincerely, Atlas.
He really is a pain in the butt. I mean, come on, his sister was happy with Laura's father, and Atlas and his parents completely despised him. I get it. They didn't want her to marry him. They wanted to have her marry the other guy, but in life happens. What are you gonna do? You can't really force her, considering that she seemed to be a free spirit.
Well, hello there, Sir Lancelot. Don't worry, I won't be boring your sword this time.
Makes me wonder how many times she used it before.
The Grand Hall. Always loved playing in here as a kid. This will be one of the first things to fix.
I mean, that's if we get the title and everything out of that safe.
A phoenix figurine. I bet this appealed to Dad's idea of immortality, of rising from the ashes and being born anew.
Kind of reminds me of the phoenix from Harry Potter, of how it got killed and then rose from the ashes. I think it exploded or something. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've watched Harry Potter. I wonder where I can find the master key.
This belongs to Anna. Most of her belongings are in the guest house. What was she doing in here? Someone has a sense of humor.
Stop smoking, love R. Guessing since she has a couple of stuff in here, since she enjoyed looking through the window.
Lara, you know the West Wing is off limits.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to see...
We've been through this.
Was Mum's room in here?
Just stay out of there, darling.
Dad was always so protective of the West Wing. Locked. Need a key to open this.
What are you doing sitting there on the floor, Mistress Lara?
Looking at the compass, thinking.
What about, if I may inquire?
Just thinking about discovering faraway places, about finding adventure.
I'm sure you will, my lady. You've the soul of an explorer. But don't grow up too fast.
The offer came in the post last week, and I still haven't told Richard. He flew ahead to Tibet, where I will meet him shortly. I never told him I was submitting my work. Never thought there was a chance of being accepted. Oh, but a gallery tour is not something I can pass up. The show will take me away from England for over a year. I'll begin in New York and travel across the United States and... oh, God! I'm giddy even writing these words. When Richard and I were married, I was prepared to relegate my painting to a hobby. But it was Richard who objected, who gave me my atelier and studio. Without that support, I might still be painting boring landscapes. Now I can't shake the foolish sensation that leaving would be a betrayal. He will laugh at that and insist I accept, even though I know it will break his heart to be apart. He never once asked me to sacrifice any part of my life for his. I have, of course, in 1,000 small ways over the years, but he would never ask. The discussion can wait, and I will join him in Tibet. I won't cast a shadow over his find. I will be by his side in his triumph, as I know he will stand by my side, in time.
Looks like he really did have like a very caring heart with her. It's too bad that Laura had to lose them both. But what can you do?
I'm not sure. I really need to brush up on my ancestors one of these days.
It's interesting to go through Croft Manor in this kind of destroyed look. I'm so used to seeing it like it was before in pristine condition, considering I played the other, well, not every, but a couple other Tomb Raider games that were out.
Another one of Dad's immortality artifacts. I think Roth bought this for him from a trader in Greece.
Now I can't remember if Roth is a new character or if he's been presented in the games before or if he's been presented in the movies. I can't remember if he's been presented at all until now. master key could be. Let's see if I can position her. There we go. Nothing of importance. I need to see if I can find a flashlight, or if I already have one, I can't remember. I need some master key, like almost everything else I've tried opening as far as things being locked. Oh yeah, I didn't check this section over here yet. Probably. No.
Hey, Jonah. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. I've decided to do some research at the manor. A lot has happened, and I need some time to think about what I want to do next. This old place is filled with memories and secrets. Uncle Atlas has tried to keep me out of here for so long, I don't even know if I want to keep it. But after everything that's happened, maybe I can find out what it still means to me, if it's worth fighting him for. I'll let you know how things worked out when I'm back in London.
Kind of sounded like a bit of machine, like a robot type machine answer to Jonah there.
Got to remember to pack this for my next trip.
Yeah. New gear acquired flashlight.
Should be able to explore the dark now. Falling apart. Maybe I should just let my uncle have this place.
They say a good test of a relationship is how well you travel together. Well, I'd say Amelia and I have passed that test with flying colors. Indeed, these last few months in Egypt have been nothing short of extraordinary. She and Roth get on like old uni chums. In fact, the two have spent more than a few nights drinking and playing cards into the wee hours. Despite her decidedly proper upbringing, Amelia's taken to roughing it more than I ever have. She fits in and connects with the local populace with such amazing empathy. Because of her, I've had a bit of an unexpected breakthrough in my research. She managed to convince an artifact dealer in Old Town to sell me a magnificent and quite unusual Tibetan scroll. From what I can tell, it seems to contain details surrounding an immortality ritual of some sort. I think it's time for me to take the next step with Amelia. In fact, I don't think I can wait any longer. I will ask for her hand tomorrow, in the bright Egyptian sun, amidst the dust and ruins.
I'm not surprised he asked her to marry him as soon as he got the idea.
Let's see. Can I open this door? Nope, not without the master key. Yep, I need the master key. Hopefully I'll be able to find it soon. Oh, gross rats. But then again, spiders are even worse.
Amelia,
Welcome
I know
to the
we have
chat
had
to
our
anyone
differences
that's
in recent
watching.
years. I've tried my best to keep an open mind about your relationship with Richard, but I just can't let you go on this ill-conceived expedition without saying my piece. You say Richard's theories have merit. You say that he may have actually stumbled upon some mythic, unknown truth, but I have seen nothing to support such claims. And while your word may have been enough in times past, I cannot let you squander away what remains of your name and reputation, and that of our family, truth be told, on some damned foolish crusade. I intend to go to Richard's investors and let them know exactly how he's spending their money, but I want to give you a chance to put a stop to this yourself. Please, don't go to Tibet. If not for me, at least for Lara.
Gosh, really, Atlas is a major pain. Literally, I'm trying to put it in a nice way.
Just as creepy as I remember.
Can't believe how much shit he's going each. With that kind of ambiance, you think you'd see at least a ghost or something. But like as I was saying, Atlas, he really won't stop leaving them alone, considering the fact that it's been years since they were married. And he's like doing the same crap with Laura that he did with his own sister and Richard.
My lord, I hope this missive finds you on a successful expedition and in good health. Before I bore you with estate affairs, I wanted to let you know that our little angel has been into some mischief. As always, I indulged her in our usual game of chess. Over the course of the game, she broached the subject of her mother. She's having trouble remembering her now, and wanted to enter her ladyship's atelier, which you sealed off, to play on her mother's piano. It enraged her when she wasn't allowed to go in, of course. For someone so young, she has such strong emotions. Later in the day, she set a trap for me in the walk-in freezer, of all places. Before I knew what was happening, I found myself locked inside. Mrs. Sheffield discovered me an hour later, shivering and somewhat peeved. It took us an additional hour to find Lara in the grounds. I know all her hiding places, of course, but this time she really did not want to be found. Call it years of observation, but I can tell when she's out of sorts. My lord, if I may be so bold, she misses you fiercely. She is lonely for her father. Please consider a call as soon as you are able.
Oh gosh, that whole freezer bit reminds me of...
Poor Winston. I remember being so angry. He was always so patient with me.
As I was saying, that whole freezer thing was from one of the older games of Tomb Raider, where you could actually lock in Winston in the freezer and not have him follow you around with that tree. I think it was like Tomb Raider 2. I can't remember. It's been so long. I'm gonna say it's Tomb Raider 2, but I might be wrong.
King to Queen 1. I'm going to win this time, Winston.
Clever girl. But you should know by now, winning isn't everything. Queen to King's Bishop 6. Check.
Easy for you to say. You always win. Knight takes queen.
What I mean to say is try to enjoy the journey, Lara. Don't rush to victory. Bishop to King 7.
I know, Winston. I just want... Oh no! I didn't even see that!
You should also know by now, I'm not to be trifled with on this board, young lady. Mate.
Oh, I am going to win. Someday.
I would play chess with our old butler Winston on this board. Never could beat him. I always chose white. Maybe if I let him go first once in a while, I might have won.
I'm guessing he's also not around. I mean, we haven't had really much proof or evidence saying that he died. So far, only that her mother isn't here anymore, and that her father, but nothing really of Winston. But then again, like in the games, they always portrayed him as like the older, like very old, almost ancient. But what can you do?
Everything is almost ready for Mistress Lara's birthday expedition surprise. It's been a bit of an all-hands-on-deck effort organizing the affair and keeping it secret. She's obsessed with Egypt, memorizing hieroglyphs and ancient Egyptian districts, so she'll be delighted with what Lord Croft has come up with. This will be good for her. She's been acting up of late, but I know she's just craving more of her father's attention. He's been so buried in his research. It'll be a nice moment for the two of them to reconnect. And I do believe he needs it as much as she does.
Alright, well, I'm gonna leave it for here now, and we'll catch up next time on this.